Okay, so today we're diving into something a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
and it's personal growth, but it has a little bit of a twist to it.
Okay.
And I was thinking of it this way. Um,
Yeah.
it's like imagine that you're getting advice not from
Right.
some kind of guru on a mountaintop,
Yeah.
but from that friend that you have who's always got their life together,
Right. Yeah.
and they're just giving you like
Yeah.
super solid advice.
Totally.
And that's kind of the vibe of this material that we're looking at today.
Yeah, and what's really interesting about it is that it's this person reflecting on their own journey, and they hit on like these universal truths about
Yeah.
confidence and boundaries.
Yeah.
And it's not like some rigid formula or anything. It's more like, hey, here's what I learned. Maybe this will help you too.
Right. And it's like, we all know we should have boundaries and stuff, but this is like
Yeah.
almost like tactical, you know? And one of the things that really stood out to me was this idea of don't apologize.
Hmm.
And now before everyone listening is like, oh my gosh, we should be polite and apologize.
Right.
Let's unpack that a little.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant because it really makes you think about how often we apologize just out of habit.
Yes.
Like someone bumps into you in line at the coffee shop and you're the one saying sorry.
Right.
And this advice is about recognizing those places where we kind of diminish ourselves
Right.
unnecessarily.
So it's not about never saying sorry. It's about being intentional with
Exactly.
when you apologize.
Yeah.
Which also kind of connects to this other idea that the source material talks about, which is teach people how to treat you.
Right.
Now, that sounds kind of mystical to me, like, am I supposed to hand them like a manual of how to treat me or?
Yeah, no, I think it's more about consistency.
Okay.
There's actually research on this. It's called the broken record technique, where you just calmly repeat your boundary over and over again.
Right.
So for example, if someone is always late meeting you,
Yeah.
you don't get upset, but you just say, as we agreed, I'll need to reschedule if you're more than 10 minutes behind.
Right.
And so you're not trying to control them, you're just controlling how you react.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about the advice that the source material gives about negativity.
Mm-hmm.
How do we not let negativity affect us?
Yeah.
It's almost like you're putting up some kind of shield
Right.
to protect yourself.
I think it really ties into self-perception.
Okay.
Studies show that if we believe we're worthy,
Mm-hmm.
then criticism doesn't sting as much.
Yeah.
And it's not about ignoring feedback altogether,
Right.
but it's more about asking, is this valid?
Right.
And is this coming from someone whose opinion I value?
Right. So maybe your boss's critique of you
Exactly.
is something to pay attention to.
Yeah.
But some random person online?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, you can just let that roll off your back.
Point.
This is all so actionable. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to touch on is our source also talks about promises and punctuality.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, okay, basic manners.
Right.
But then I started thinking about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's actually a lot more to it
Totally.
than that.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in a world that's obsessed with personal brand, these actions like keeping promises and being on time actually are your brand.
That's interesting.
Think about it. If someone's always late, you start to question their word in other areas too.
Right, right.
And so consistency builds trust, which is so valuable.
Yeah, and trust is currency
Exactly.
in all sorts of relationships.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this isn't just about being like a nice person.
Right.
It's about how these little things add up.
Totally.
And ultimately, you're kind of crafting how people see you
Yeah.
and how you see yourself.
Exactly. And that brings us to a question I think that the source doesn't explicitly tackle,
Okay.
which is how does this teaching people how to treat you translate online,
Oh, that's a good question.
where boundaries are blurry and everyone's kind of crafting their own persona?
Right. And it's easy to get sucked into negativity online,
Totally.
where you feel this pressure to apologize
Yeah.
just for expressing yourself.
Right.
So how do we apply these same principles there?
Yeah, I think the same principles apply,
Okay.
consistent behavior, knowing your worth,
Right?
setting those boundaries.
Yeah.
It's almost like the more digital our lives become,
Yeah.
the more we need this real world
Yeah.
grounded advice
Totally.
to navigate it.
Well, on that note, I just want to say to everybody listening that you are awesome.
Yes, you are.
Our source believes in their own advice, and we believe in you out there listening.
Absolutely.
Keep being awesome,
Keep being awesome.
and we'll see you in the next deep dive.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.